there are some generations that give everything and sacrifice everything for the idea of the American dream, and usually, sometimes, it's not that generation that will achieve it. So yeah, this is about my family, my grandmother, and me. Selfish, a study in ambition, migrants, Oaxaca, 1985, and disheartened mosquitoes softly thudding against the window screen. Heritage is serrated. Like a child, it pushes you from the top of the playground slide face first, pebbles blooming bruises onto your chest, the color of stagnant rain puddles between train tracks, colors that last decades burned into my eyes. A lifetime later, I still shake wind from my hair while generations of gritted teeth and stifled screams slip through the shower drain, drift somewhere at the bottom of a river that stitches one country to another, remnants of another life, stuffed behind the back panel of a linen closet, accompanied by uncertainty. Anticipation drips from the eaves of this borrowed house like the mason jar honey my grandmother traded on the street corner for bulk detergent, and I remember a perpetual layer of anxiety, filling a space, a cosmos of scorched candle wax, wrinkled pages from math workbook, contents of a briefcase, littering galaxies on Quart's living room table, the absence of migrant mother and father who followed the lure of the harvest 4 months out of the year. The lessons of this country often break you. For me, it is blossoming guilt every time I forget things were not always so easy, every time I reject my grandmother's calls because all she has done for years is tell me that everything hurts, but of course it does. Decades ago, she receded into the factories of California and did not emerge, bent over conveyor belts, canning fruit for the wages reserved for female Latinas, working 2 jobs at home to keep my mother out of Southside public schools, wastelands of dropout rates. I look at my grandmother, the years gaping canyons carving through her unmoving face, and I want to tell her that it paid off. Hope tumbles from its despondent grip on the sides of train cars, life smashing open on the rails, and I know I could never understand, never pretend to know how it feels to literally die for opportunity, to become something half alive and to drip despair, to tilt your face towards the sun until your skin becomes unrecognizable, until you begin to sprout roots, one for each of 7 children keeping you from jumping, until the fine print of the until you've looked too long and realized that the fine print of the American dream will rip generations from your palms until your descendants can finally reap some form of success. I am afraid to ask if my ambition is selfish and why the price for privilege was so high, and why people insist on claiming that Mexicans can waltz into a country and steal jobs as if life is something you could pocket, as if a family, an entire ethnicity is disposable. I've never had to harvest in my life, and yet my hands still bleed. Thank you.